Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we will be looking into the 8th hadith, which is regarding urging to spend freely and generously. And the hadith is of Ibn Abbas, which goes as an Ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhuma قال كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أجود الناس وكان أجود ما يكون في رمضان حين يلقاه جبريل وكان يلقاه في كل ليلة من رمضان فيدارسه القرآن فلرسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أجود بالخير من الريح المرسلة متفق عليه. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma narrated that Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the most generous of the people, and he was the most generous in Ramadan. When he met Jibreel, he used to meet him every night in Ramadan to study the Qur'an with him. Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam was more generous with good than the flowing winds. This is a mutafaqun alayh, which is agreed upon hadith, meaning it is in Bukhari and Muslim. In this hadith, there is an encouragement for generosity and spending at any time, with an increase during Ramadan. Because Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma described our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam as being generous, and that his generosity during Ramadan surpassed his generosity at any other time. Then he likened his generosity to the flowing wind. That is unrestricted winds. There's no stopping to it. They are just flowing winds. This means that he is swift in generosity, swifter than the winds. He expressed that as flowing to show its continuous blowing with mercy and the general benefit of his generosity, just as the flowing winds spread across all of what they blow over. So this example of flowing wind is to show how generous he was, and he was more generous than this. So what is generosity? Generosity means giving amply and in abundance. Charity and all categories of kindness and goodness enter into this. Another benefit of this hadith is the encouragement of generosity at any time and increasing it specifically in Ramadan, because generosity in it has great significance and many benefits. Anas radiallahu anhu said, ما سئل رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم على الإسلام شيئا إلا أعطاه قال فجاء رجل فأعطاه غنما بين جبلين فرجع إلى قومه فقال يا قوم أسلموا فإن محمدا يعطي عطاء لا يخشى الفاقة. Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam was never asked for anything for the sake of Islam, except that he would give it. He said a man came to him and he gave him all the goats between the two mountains. He sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he gave him. The man returned to his people and said, "O my people, embrace Islam. For Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam gives like a person who does not fear poverty." This hadith is reported by Muslim. So there are 4 important points in this hadith, that the hadith of Anas. It says, it is befitting for a person to emulate his Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and give in charity to assist the poor and those in need, and to visit the neighbors, and to keep good relationship with relatives, and spend freely in the categories of good. So these are the 4 ways you will emulate the Prophet ﷺ in his spending and his being generous. Imam al-Shafi'i, he said, rahimahullah, أحب لرجل الزيادة بالجود في شهر رمضان اقتداء برسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ولحاجة الناس فيه إلى مصالحهم ولتشاغل كثير منهم بالصوم والصلاة عن مكاسبهم. I love for a person to increase in generosity during the month of Ramadan, following the example of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Who is saying this? This is Imam al-Shafi'i. And due to the need of the people for their well-being during it, and because of the preoccupation of many of them with fasting and salah instead of their earning. So they are spending more time with fasting and salah, so it is better if you can be generous with them in taking care of their needs in Ramadan. What may stir one to spending is that the person remembers through fasting the favors of Allah upon him, since He made it easy for him to get the things he desires from what Allah made permissible for him. So basically, if a person ponders over the favor of Allah, that Allah has blessed, that he has meals and he has the provisions, and fasting is made easy for him, and the other favors that Allah has bestowed upon him, this will make him become more generous towards his fellow Muslims who are poor and they don't have the means to attain what he has, what Allah has favored him with. So he remembers his poor brothers who it has not been made easy for them to get what they need. So he gives generously to them out of charity and goodness. So he has to remember the favors of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon him, which will make it very easy for him to give to his fellow brethren who are poor and they don't have the blessings which Allah has blessed him with. And the righteous predecessors from this nation used to be keen on feeding others and providing iftar for those who were fasting with what satisfied them. In fact, some of the Salaf would give away his food for breaking fast while he himself is fasting. Some of them were Abdullah ibn Umar, radiallahu anhuma, Dawud al-Ta'i, Malik ibn Dinar, and Ahmad ibn Hanbal. May Allah have mercy on them. Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah, he said, إعانة الفقراء بالإطعام في شهر رمضان هو من سنن الإسلام. Helping the poor by feeding them in the month of Ramadan is from the sunan of Islam. This is in his Majmu' al-Fatawa. So, how can we be wise in spending? Because we need to be wise in spending. What is the wisdom behind it? What is the ruling in this case? Included in the ways of giving charity during Ramadan is preparing food and giving it to the poor families or inviting it. Whoever sees that foregoing that one-time benefit of a meal for something which is more beneficial to the poor, such as giving them money, clothes and food that benefits the poor gradually, then this is better, because the purpose is to maximize the benefit from the one giving charity as well as benefiting the poor. Therefore, a person should be keen on the best ways to achieve that. And Allah does not waste the reward of those who perform good deeds. So basically what is the Shaykh saying is that it is well lofty attribute to feed the poor, to prepare the food and give them. This is a good thing. But if you think that you can use that money and spend to fill their houses for the entire month of Ramadan, to take care of their needs where they can easily manage the Ramadan and facilitate the Ramadan for them, then you need to be wise in making the best out for the situation that you see the poor brother is in. So in general, yes, feeding the poor is general. But if you see there is a specific need that needs to be addressed, then you need to be wise in being generous in this regard. The Shaykh ends with the dua, Allahumma tahhir qulubana min al-nifaq wa a'malana min al-riya wa al-sinatina min al-kadhib wa a'yunina min al-khiyana فإنك تعلم خائنة الأعين وما تخفي الصدور واغفر اللهم لنا ولوالدينا ولجميع المسلمين. O Allah, purify our hearts from hypocrisy, our deeds from show-off, our tongues from lying, and our eyes from betrayal. Indeed, you know the betrayal of the eyes and what the breasts conceal. And forgive us, O Allah, our parents and the Muslims.